Hello, pilots. I'm Captain James Walker. Today I want to share a story, not a lesson, not an emergency scenario, not an ATC communication exercise. Just a story. My story. The story of how I became a pilot. Because every pilot, no matter where they fly today, started in exactly the same place. With a dream. I still remember being a young boy. I wasn't thinking about careers. I wasn't thinking about airlines. I wasn't thinking about salaries. I was simply fascinated by airplanes. Whenever I heard an engine overhead, I stopped whatever I was doing and looked up. I watched airplanes disappear into the clouds and wondered where they were going. Who was flying them? What was it like up there? What did the world look like from above? I wanted answers. My family wasn't involved in aviation. Nobody I knew was a pilot. There were no aviation magazines around the house. No flight simulators. No connections. Nothing. Just curiosity. And sometimes curiosity is enough. Years passed. The dream never disappeared. In fact, it became stronger. Every time I flew as a passenger, I chose the window seat. Not because I wanted a better view, because I wanted to study everything. The wings, the sounds, the procedures, the airport operations, the pilots, everything. I remember one particular flight. The airplane was climbing through the clouds just after takeoff. The sun suddenly appeared above a layer of white clouds stretching to the horizon. It looked like another world, a world that very few people ever get to experience. And at that moment I thought, one day I want to sit in the front, not in the back. The problem was simple. Dreaming is free. Flying is not. Flight training was expensive, very expensive, at least for someone like me. And there were moments when becoming a pilot felt impossible. Maybe some of you understand exactly what I mean. You want something badly, but the distance between where you are and where you want to be feels enormous. For a while, aviation remained just a dream. Something I loved, something I studied, something I imagined, but not something I could actually do. At least, not yet. Then one day, everything changed. I booked my first discovery flight. A short introductory lesson, nothing special. Just one flight, one opportunity, one chance to sit in the cockpit. I was excited, and honestly, I was nervous. I arrived at the airport early, much too early. I couldn't wait. The instructor met me outside the flight school. We walked toward a small aircraft parked on the ramp. And suddenly it became real. For years, airplanes had been something distant. Now one was right in front of me. The instructor performed the pre-flight inspection, checking the fuel, checking the oil, inspecting the control surfaces, and I watched every movement carefully, trying to absorb everything. Then we climbed into the cockpit. The cabin was smaller than I expected. The instruments looked more complicated than I imagined. The checklist seemed endless. Yet somehow it felt familiar, like I belonged there. The engine started. The aircraft vibrated. The propeller blurred into a spinning circle, and my heart started racing. We taxied to the runway, completed the final checks, and then it happened. The instructor pushed the throttle forward. The aircraft accelerated, faster, faster, faster. Then suddenly, the wheels left the ground. I'll never forget that feeling. The city became smaller, the roads became thinner, the buildings became tiny, and for the first time in my life, I was flying. Some people say they knew immediately. Others take time. For me, the decision was instant. I knew. This was what I wanted to do. After that flight, life changed. Not overnight, but permanently. I started studying seriously. Aerodynamics, meteorology, navigation, aircraft systems, regulations, performance calculations, emergency procedures. There was always something new to learn. Many people think flying is mostly about flying. The truth is that becoming a pilot involves a tremendous amount of studying, far more than most people realize. There were difficult days, days when I felt overwhelmed, days when I felt overwhelmed when I felt overwhelmed, days when I doubted myself, days when I made mistakes, days when I wondered if I was good enough. But aviation teaches an important lesson. Progress is rarely dramatic. It's usually small. One lesson, one flight, one improvement at a time. Then came one of the biggest milestones in every pilot's life. The first solo flight. I can still remember the moment. The instructor looked at me, smiled, opened the door, and stepped out. Suddenly the cockpit felt very different. The airplane felt very different. Everything felt different. For the first time there was nobody beside me, nobody to help, nobody to correct my mistakes, nobody to take control. Just me and the airplane. I remember sitting on the runway, taking a deep breath, looking down the center line, and thinking, this is really happening. The throttle moved forward, the aircraft accelerated, and moments later I was airborne, alone. It's difficult to describe that feeling. Excitement, fear, pride, freedom, all at the same time. When I landed and taxied back, I couldn't stop smiling. Every pilot remembers their first solo. Every single one. Training continued. Hours accumulated. Experience grew. Confidence increased. Slowly, steadily. Flight after flight. Then came another important day. The check ride. The final evaluation. The test every student pilot dreams about. I was nervous, probably more nervous than I wanted to admit. But I was ready. I had worked for it, studied for it, prepared for it. The flight ended. The examiner completed his paperwork, looked up, smiled, and said, "Congratulations, you're a pilot." I don't think I'll ever forget those words. People often ask me what becoming a pilot changed. The answer is simple. Everything. Flying taught me discipline, responsibility, decision-making, patience, confidence, humility. It taught me that fear is normal, challenges are normal, mistakes are normal. The important thing is continuing forward. Today, after countless flights and thousands of memories, I still feel excited every time I walk toward an airplane. I still look out the cockpit window and appreciate the view. I still remember the young boy staring at airplanes in the sky. And maybe that's the most important lesson. Never lose the wonder. Never lose the curiosity.
Never lose the dream that brought you here. If your goal is becoming a pilot, don't quit. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Keep learning, keep improving, keep flying, one step at a time. Because every captain, every airline pilot, every flight instructor, every pilot you've ever admired started exactly where you are, with a dream. I'm Captain James Walker. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the next lesson.